Welcome back, my friends. We're in the home stretch. Hopefully by now, your passport is just full of stamps. Remember, just by being here, you've already given back to UNICEF. If you'd like to join us, you can donate directly to this powerful organization. Up next, Acquia CEO Mike Sullivan will return to share some incredible news for partners looking for their path to greater success and growth with Acquia. Stay tuned as we unveil the Acquia Practice Certification Program. We'll learn how 9 strategic partners pioneered a program to define the highest level of credentials and a new dimension of partnering. Outstanding opportunities for growth. With more, here's Mike.
At Acquia, our partners are an incredibly valuable part of our success. We support them in every way we can, and we're always looking for new paths to help them grow their own businesses and deliver successful Acquia engagements for our best customers and brands. So today, I'm incredibly excited to officially unveil our new program fostering partner success, the Acquia Practice Certification Program. Now, the Acquia Practice Certification Program, or APC, awards a new dimension of credentials to partners who reach our highest standards of technical delivery on the Acquia platform. So what does this mean for our customers? Growing our network of certified partners will allow customers to choose from a diversified pool of exceptionally skilled solution providers. The APC ensures that customers are also leveraging a streamlined selection process to help match the best partner for their needs. We developed the program by defining the best practices of some of our most effective partners, by distilling that information into a specific set of criteria. The APC program expands on our existing developer certification program and provides a pathway that certifies a partner's organization beyond individuals. Acquia partners are able to earn certification in 3 separate areas: Drupal Cloud, Marketing Cloud, and DXP. And simply put, the APC badge tells clients in the room today that they're working with a partner who has achieved the highest Acquia stamp of approval. A partner's certification gives a potential customer the confidence that they made the right choice for their job, no matter how large, complex, or unique your deployment might be. And that means you can expect a faster time to market, better lifetime value, and the best possible outcome for every deployment with Acquia. Acquia's practice certification brings a new dimension of benefits to everything that Acquia partners already enjoy today. And that includes a boost in visibility, even more marketing opportunities to show off your solutions with Acquia. When a partner earns certification, they'll earn an APC badge for their partner profile to help them stand out and develop more customer innovations together. The certification offers technical benefits as well. Certified partners may be invited to participate in beta programs for new products, have easy access to product sandboxes, and receive early technical briefings and more. Now I'd like to introduce you to the pioneering Acquia partners who helped us design, define, and launch this program. We're encouraging every partner to join them by learning about and applying for practice certification. Please join me in congratulating our founding class of Drupal Cloud Practice Certified Partners right here on the Engage main stage. They are Bounteous, CI&T, Digitas, Third and Grove, Northern, Wunderman Thompson, VMLY&R, Genuine, and Perficient. Congratulations to all of these partners. We're excited and grateful for the investment you have made in this program, and we're also excited to welcome our next group of certified partners. To learn more about the program or to start your path to practice certification, please visit the APC website on acquia.com in the Partners section.
Great content there from Mike. Next up, it's our Women in MarTech panel. We're about to welcome back Acquia CMO Lynn Capozzi, who will guide a panel of accomplished MarTech leaders in a discussion of the progress made so far. where we're headed, how to support the next generation of female leaders in technology, and much more. Lynn, it's all yours.
Thank you, Mark, and welcome everyone to the Women in MarTech panel. This is our first ever Women in MarTech panel, but we've got such an amazing group of panelists that I bet it's not going to be our last time in terms of doing this. So I'm thrilled today to be able to kind of have us talk about as a group some of the both challenges and opportunities that we all face as women in MarTech. So let's get started right away. So first, I want to have everyone introduce themselves. So if we could start by having you let us know who you are, what your title is, and just a little bit about your journey in terms of how you got to your current role. So let's start with Maria.
Hi, everyone. I'm Maria Green. I am the Senior Manager of the Drupal team at Insulet Corporation. How I got to my current position, I did major in computer science back in the 80s, the late 80s. But of course, back then the internet didn't exist. So I'm a self-taught Drupalist and developer. And I started out as a software engineer, mostly working with internetworking startups, and then started my own small design agency with some women colleagues because I needed more flexibility in my work schedule that startups didn't afford. So we started our own agency so we could work around our young children's schedules. And I worked in that agency for about 10 years. And then I decided I want to go back into the corporate world. So I joined Insulet Corporation. So here I am today.
Excellent. Great. Well, thanks for being with us today, Maria. Appreciate it. Barbara, how about you?
Sure. I'm Barbara Von Yu. I am Director of Business Process related to the consumer experience at PVH. I've been here 3 years. My career has been an interesting path. I really started out as an illustrator, but have always been in marketing. Like Maria, I've had my own agency where I did marketing consulting and worked on the brand side and the technology side throughout my career, and landed at PVH, actually helping our brands like Calvin Klein and Tommy Hilfiger really leverage our marketing technology. So staying within the marketing space, but really from a technology perspective. And it's been great.
That's great.
Thank you.
Excellent. Glad to have you here today. Hannah.
Hi, I'm Hannah Smith. I'm the Senior Manager of Global CRM Solutions for MCM Worldwide. What brought me to my current point today was I got my start in nonprofit, and then I kind of meandered through the retail landscape in various positions, including working on a shop floor. So I really have a niche in terms of being able to speak from the tech side as well as the retail, like end user side, which brings us to today. And I really love what I do.
That's excellent. Excellent. You all have different levels of experience, amounts of experience, and I'm just thrilled that all three of you could be with us today. So let me start, Hannah, I'm going to start with you. Well, if you think about kind of your career, was there a catalyst in your career that changed the course of it? Was there an event? Was it a job? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. There are two actually that come to mind, both kind of in the same realm. Like I said, I started in nonprofit. And when I started in nonprofit, you're dealing with a lot of governmental agencies, and there are a lot of forms, not shockingly. But in particular, the nonprofit I was with, those forms were still filled out by hand. This was fresh out of college, so I didn't know not to ask questions or not to ask for technology. So I actually asked my CFO, could we buy this editing suite? And I started digitizing all the documents. And I would spend hours just calling state agencies and saying, but do you have this form electronically? Because like you had to print it from somewhere. Highlighting boxes and making them absolutely digitized. And then I actually partnered with another recent grad from my university and set up a cloud-based storage system of all their client files for them. And that was the moment at which I was like, wow, if you can digitize something, you can change an experience. And if you can change the experience through digital, you can impact lives at a quicker, more large rate. So that was the first time. And then, like I said, I meandered through retail, and it kind of happened to me again in retail. Retail, I think a lot of the times especially from a perspective, is I'm showing up and I'm selling a product. And what I learned very quickly in some projects there was, but if we can change the tech that's in store, we can change it on both sides. We can change it for our internal end user, and then we can grow our KPIs and grow our success rate in terms of what the customer experience is.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. That's great. Maria, what about you? Was there a catalyst in your career?
Oh, there certainly was. A few, actually. As I mentioned, becoming a mom was a major catalyst to change the direction of my career. So I had been, working startups, long hours, a lot of travel. And then when I had kids, that obviously isn't compatible. So I actually took off 7 years. I just became a stay-at-home mom for 7 years. And then when I went back into the workforce, I needed the flexibility. And that's what motivated, starting the agency again with some female colleagues in the same situation. So that was a major catalyst, of course, that changed the direction. And the other was when we started that agency, we began to specialize in not just nonprofits, but government agencies as well. We wanted to work with organizations and companies that had a positive social mission. So that was something that was a major change. The first clients we got were lawyers and financial people, and they could pay the bills. But over time, we started to specialize in people who had a pro-social mission that we really agreed with, and that's what led me into my current role. Working for a medical device company that supports people with diabetes. So those two things, the real change in direction of having children, and then the second is wanting to only work for companies with missions that I really, really felt strongly about.
So many women I know are in that same situation in terms of, when they're thinking about having children or starting to have their children. And it is really possible to come back into the workforce, isn't it? Like, what a great reminder for everyone.
Yes.
That it's very possible to come back in, no matter how long that the length of time is.
And don't compromise, what you want just because of expectations. Because I'm a very, very strong feminist. And I believe one of the things that is feminist is being able to choose your own path, regardless of what society wants to push you towards.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. Okay, Bob, we're going to switch gears a little bit for you. So there is this thing, apparently it's real, it's called the imposter syndrome, which from my readings, it tends to be common in women, where people think that the idea that your success has come from luck, or is someone going to find me out that I'm an imposter? I may not know as much as either I claim to know or people think that I know. And so it was actually developed in 1978 by some psychologists, and it tends to be a real phenomenon. So let me just ask you, in your experience, have you had experience of feeling of imposter syndrome? And if so, how did you overcome? And then I want to switch gears a little bit to talk about what advice do you give people if you're seeing that they're in that situation. So have you experienced it yourself?
I think I could say I have. I know that I have worked really hard because I've been in a consultative capacity for most of my career and working in different environments. And so you're always trying to prove yourself, and certainly have worked really hard to become, a trusted advisor and someone that has credibility. And so I'm very careful with my words, don't overpromise, and really consider how the information is being perceived, because I am working, and I know maybe some of the other panelists haven't had the same experience, but I've come, through my career very long time, and in the early days I was working with primarily men, and we've seen a lot of growth as far as women. So there were times, but I would say, I think, as you do your work and you do your homework and you're working just as hard as everyone else, I think my advice is feel secure in that, and speak on topics that you're an expert in and that you've gained expertise, and not try to answer every question. I mean, there are times where you won't have an answer, and that's okay. But you will probably know who to go to, or you know how to find it out. And I think that's one way to overcome that, and really just trust your journey and trust what you've learned throughout that journey.
Right, good, very good advice, I think. Hannah, what about you? Imposter syndrome?
Yeah, my gut reaction is to say no, of course not. Right? But that is inherently at the keystone of imposter syndrome, is not saying, yeah, I've experienced that. It's interesting, like hearing Barbara speak on the topic. Like I think I've had a slightly different experience in terms of I've always been in a very female forward or female driven environment, both with brands that I've supported and just in where I've landed. But what's interesting about that is some of my best mentors have been men. And I had one in particular who told me one time, never read your own press. And to Maria's point, erring toward the side of feminism, I think that like traditionally we would take that thought and think that that means don't believe anything good about yourself. But like I said, I've been really lucky. I've had a lot of strong women in my life, both in a family and professional setting. And I take that advice from a male perspective of don't read your own press. And I kind of say, don't read the bad stuff, right? Like to Barbara's point, a great phrase is, I don't know, but I'll find out. And it doesn't make you less, and it doesn't mean you didn't show up. It means you were honest and you embraced what you knew in that moment. So that would be my advice in terms of imposter syndrome would be, listen, don't read your own press. Whether it's good or bad, just don't read it. It doesn't matter. At your core, you know who you are, and you'll get through it.
Mm-hmm. Excellent advice. Okay, Maria. So how do you think, if you think about how are you paying it forward to help and encourage kind of the next generation of women leaders or women breaking into the industry? So is there something in particular that you're doing?
Yeah. So speaking of those children I had, two of them are daughters, and both of them have gone into tech. Both of them actually have majored in data science. So at their university, they were both involved in something called Hack Her. They're at UMass Amherst. So Hack Her is a hackathon for women and female identifying people. And so that's the one thing that I take some credit for, that both of my daughters are very interested in women in tech and how to encourage the next generation. And that kind of thing, I think, is really what's gonna bring out the next generation of leaders in tech who are women, because I saw both of them go through their high school and early college where they were not discouraged from getting into technology areas, but they certainly weren't encouraged. So every opportunity. I was also a Girl Scout leader for many years, and one of the reasons is because of their strong support for STEM, encouraging girls to go into STEM careers. So anything you can do to encourage that next generation to realize that women belong in those places, in those jobs, in those roles, take every opportunity that you can, because it really makes a difference.
Yep, absolutely. Barbara, what about you? Paying it forward.
Yeah, I would say doing things like this, being part of a panel. I look for every opportunity I can to speak about technology and what I do. We have a local organization that I belong to, and I speak there as well to encourage other women that this is an industry we belong in and have proven ourselves in, and should continue to look for those opportunities. So I look for speaking opportunities. I look for organizational opportunities, and within my own company, I do a lot of promoting within our corporate communications group about what we are doing and what our programs are leading here. So I look for a lot of opportunities like that, and I think it says a lot, to be present and to do those things.
That's awesome. Thank you to all of you for whatever you're doing to pay it forward. I love it, and encourage us to help the young women that we're all developing around us, around our careers. Okay, last question, lightning question. I like to do it on kind of a gut reaction. What's one piece of advice you'd give to your younger self? Ready, Start with Hannah.
Show up authentically. Don't ever question who you are.
Love that. Barbara.
Yeah, I would definitely repeat that, and I would say that just be encouraged. You'll get through those bumpy roads.
Great. Maria.
Mine's more practical. Get your master's degree, because again, all those things that derailed me kept me from achieving all of the goals that I had. So get your master's degree.
Great advice from all three of you. Thank you so much for joining today. Really appreciate you opening up for our audience, and I really enjoyed the discussion. So thank you so much.
Lynn, thank you. Amazing content there. Now, when it comes to providing a tailor-made digital experience, J.Crew is leading the way. In this next session, Emma Berg, J.Crew's Director, Portfolio Management, and Elizabeth Planek, Senior Manager, Insights and Analytics, will share their experience with the Acquia CDP, how they're using insights and analytics, and the impact it's all having on their business. All right, let's talk the customer data platform now, the CDP in action. You know, we're talking insights leading to smart decisions and, of course, producing great results. It's becoming rather fashionable, so who better to give us the inside scoop than the very stylish J.Crew? I'm joined now by Emma Berg, Director, Portfolio Management, and Elizabeth Planek, Senior Manager, Insights and Analytics. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
So let's start with just a little bit of background. I'd love to hear a bit more about what it is you do and anything else you'd like to add about your team or the organization. So Emma, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so I'm, as mentioned, the Director of Portfolio Management. And then in addition to that, we've got a focus on our PMO Center of Excellence. But why I am here is because I was the lead PM for our implementation of our Acquia CDP, which, as you know, as far as a project, has just been one of my favorite projects thus far in my vast experience in retail. So.
Fabulous. Well, we're delighted you could take the time out. Thank you. Elizabeth, welcome to you. Tell me a bit more about you and what it is you do.
Yeah, thank you so much. So on the Insights and Analytics team, so really tying what we get from a data perspective into actionable insights. So understanding more about our customer and what that entails across the board. So really connecting marketing with Emma and tech, getting all that data and then sharing it out across the organization with insights to really drive strategic decisions.
Fabulous. Again, thank you for joining us. All right, so let's get the conversation started. Emma, as I understand it, it was the end of last year you deployed Acquia CDP. Tell us a bit about that deployment and some of the immediate success that you've seen implementing the technology, you know, quick wins, for example.
Yeah, and I guess with the deployment too, because I really just think that the project itself was not only successful, but also enjoyable. We had just such a great cross-functional collaborative team from our partners at Acquia, our tech team, and then our business partners. And so being able to have that full breadth or view on a daily basis. We really were meeting daily and had that business perspective at that daily meeting. It really just helped us, fast track everything because we had all the individuals needed right there to make the necessary decisions and move quickly. So a recommendation for a successful project, having everybody you need carve out their time so that they can be readily available. And then some quick wins, right? We had been on a different platform and had been looking at 2-week lag times to have that data available. So it was, I would say that the quickest, the most immediate win was having that data available the next day. So.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. It makes such a difference. It's a real game changer, right? And Elizabeth, let me ask you the same question in probably a slightly different way. Every organization's had to navigate the pandemic, especially retailers. So from your perspective, what's been the impact of having your hands on these insights and analytics?
Definitely. It's totally changed the game. It makes us be able to talk about our customers in the same way we talk about the rest of our business, sales and inventory, and the marketing campaign. We're able to tie all that together with the customer. And so we have the finance team and the planning team asking questions about the customer in a way they never were previously. And especially last year when everything was changing every minute, not having customer data at our fingertips was really, really tough. And being able to implement Acquia and really have that set up for success this year has been able to give us more insights and ask really important questions every day.
Fantastic. Now, obviously, you have a great marketing team, and a sign of success in marketing is driving really effective campaigns. How has Acquia CDP changed the way those campaigns work and the effectiveness of them?
Yeah. I'd say in two ways. One, just getting it to be more personalized. We're able to understand more about our customers and really segment and target and learn more about them. But then also giving us an ability to analyze and democratize that data. A lot more people on our marketing team have access or know where the data is. We know it's in Acquia. They're always thinking about pulling things in or pulling things out. And so really just being strategic from both how we're messaging and how we're analyzing and measuring success has been huge for us.
And Elizabeth, I'm guessing, I'm not in retail and you are, but it is a very competitive landscape to be in. So when it comes to the competition, when it comes to handling that threat, how has the CDP changed the game for you in terms of the competitive element?
Yeah, it gives us a lot more insights to who our customer is and what they're buying. Obviously, the past year, we've shifted from suits to sweatpants back to suits. And when we're launching new things like that sneaker launch we had last week or changing into a new style of denim, we just want to know who she is, what she's buying, what kind of customer is resonating with what product. And being able to tie all those things together has really been able to change the way we think and also just get us closer to the customer and keeping that customer at the center of what we're doing and what we're going to do next.
And can you confirm suits are back?
Yes, you look great.
Okay, thank goodness for that. So, okay, what next? I'll come back to you, Emma, because obviously this is a great achievement. You've enjoyed it. It's working. You're getting the ROI you wanted. So what comes next?
I think there's a couple things is just the consistent and constant reach out to all of our marketing partners, our business partners, to ensure that everybody has an ongoing understanding of the data that's available there and the capabilities, and then ongoing integrations with the data in other systems, just to ensure that we can continue the personalization in all touch points in all areas, and further integration too with our other key data areas to expand what that view looks like.
All right. And Elizabeth, I'll give you the last word, either what's next or final words of wisdom when putting something like this together and making it work for you.
Have great partners and really pull in as many people as possible to get excited about customer data. I couldn't be more thrilled to have it all across the business, and just like Emma said, having as many people engaged and focused on the customer, the better.
Perfect. We will leave it there. Emma and Elizabeth from J.Crew, congratulations and thank you for spending the time with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And another big thank you there to our customers at J.Crew. In a moment, Lynn's going to be sitting down with Matthew Gonering, Senior Vice President and General Manager at Wyden, an Acquia company, about the exciting acquisition, what's to come for both organizations, and the importance of community. And speaking of community, nothing brings people together more than baking. Oh, that smell. Let's go behind the scenes with one of America's most beloved brands, King Arthur Baking Company.
Our theme this year for Engage is Radical Innovators. And I'm so excited today because we are actually on site with one of the Radical Innovators here at King Arthur Baking in a test kitchen in Vermont. Bill, how are you?
Good.
Nice to see you again. Bill is the CMO of King Arthur Baking, and last year we spoke at Engage, and we had a great conversation about what's happening with digital transformation at King Arthur. And now we're here on a field trip in person to see what it's like and what happens in the test kitchens and what's going on at King Arthur Baking. So great to see you.
Yeah, thank you.
And so tell us a little bit about kind of the last year, year and a half or so around pandemic. Tell us what's going on right now digitally at King Arthur Baking.
Yeah, well, it's definitely been quite a year. I don't know if I'd consider it radical, but definitely digital transformation has happened. So COVID was a challenge, certainly for a food company like ours. So the first few months of COVID was a real shift in working on our supply chain. But as time went on, we had to quickly shift to driving consumer engagement more than we've ever done in the past. And one of the big things we've done is really invest more in content and be more nimble in how we approach it, whether it's different media types, different types of content, and having a foundation in digital is a great thing there.
I always use you as an example of a brand that's creating great content and really adding a tremendous value to your customers. So tell us a little bit more about that content. What kind of content is it that you find that consumers love?
It's across the board. I'd say educational, inspirational, aspirational, even building community through baking, which is really our mission. I think it all starts with asking the question of how can we help? And I think that's the biggest thing, especially in an enthusiast category like baking, where people want the help. We don't have to do a lot to actually encourage them to look to someone like us. They want that help. They want that person next to them in the kitchen. And so we just try to be there for them when they need it.
Yeah, great value add, I think, as I always say. So what's next on the horizon for King Arthur? What are you working on? What are you thinking of? What's cooking in the kitchen when it comes to digital?
Timing-wise, it's interesting because in a few weeks we have really the end of what I would call a 3-year digital transformation. Internally we've called it Next Gen Web, but it's a complete replatforming of our website. And we're about to go live with a new shop site. We started it actually with Acquia. We moved our CMS and our content side of our site to Drupal and hosted through Acquia. And that was, I'm going to say 2 years ago, but it was probably 3. It's been so long. Mm-hmm. And now we're kind of completing that with the final stage of our digital transformation.
So of course I have to ask you, so how has your relationship been with Acquia over the past few years?
It's been great. It was a big transformation for us. We were coming from what I'd call a bespoke or in-house custom solution, and we transitioned entirely to a cloud-hosted platform as a service or software as a service approach. And that's a big shift, both from the team perspective, the technology perspective, and Acquia has been with us, stepwise every step of the way.
And you mentioned to me earlier that part of your success is also based on your team, right?
Yeah, and it's multiple teams. It's our information services department, our marketing department, our web department. Every team has to step up to make that transformation. Actually, we're in the process right now. I mentioned the shop site going live in a few weeks. I would say the unsung hero is a new integration layer that our IS department's been putting in to connect all of our systems, which was really important for a shop site that had to connect to our ERP.
Yeah, of course.
And that will be a big unlock in terms of allowing us to have the freedom to do things in the future.
And digital asset management as well, does that play into your architecture?
Yeah, so one of the big goals of our Next Gen Web project was really having this new foundation where we can add on a lot of new technological solutions. The digital asset management tool, which we're actually using Acquia's tool, has been part of that. And we were on a good, but not necessarily high-tech solution for a digital asset management tool. And so shifting to a much better, more integrated approach is definitely part of it.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Well, Bill, you have a lot of exciting stuff going on here at King Arthur Baking. Let me ask you we'll close up with a fun question. So all during pandemic, picked up any new hobbies or you must be baking, of course. So anything you want to share in terms of your favorites?
Well, baking wise, I bake, I'd say cookies and a couple different types of bread regularly. And the one thing that I'm excited about, we actually, through all this digital work, we actually continued to launch new products. And so one of the products we launched was our Masa Harina. And so making tortillas at home has been like the new challenge and really fantastic. It's been fun. And it actually highlights a really interesting thing that we've done this year is that we've had to shift our in-person baking school significantly online. And just last week we hosted Patty Ginich in helping hundreds of people in a virtual baking class make tortillas for the first time.
Congratulations on your digital transformation, and thanks for talking with us today.
You bet, Lauren. Thanks for coming.
Hello and welcome. I'm thrilled to be here today with Wyden's General Manager, Matthew Gonering. You know, you've heard earlier from both the Acquia CEO and CTO about the industry's first DAM and PIM, which we welcomed into the Acquia family last month. Matthew is in Madison, Wisconsin. Hence, he is a Packers fan. I am from Boston and am a Patriots fan. But you know what? In this very short period of time, we've found that there's a lot of camaraderie between both organizations. All right, except when it comes to football teams, but that's okay. So welcome, Matthew. Great to see you.
Thanks, Lynn. Great to be here.
But we aren't really here to talk about Patriots versus Green Bay because that will take us probably in a direction we don't want to go. So, Matthew, let's get into it. Can you provide our audience a brief overview of Wyden and a little bit around the capabilities of the DM and PIM?
Yeah, you bet. So first of all, Wyden's got quite a storied history, much like the Packers, as you're already aware. But Wyden's been around since 1948. So we went from plate engraving to pre-press into software. And so for the last 25 years, we've been working in software. We've been building capabilities that are specific to software as a service, which means we take care of all the software for you, and then we allow the users of the software, which in our world are typically marketing, creative, product, and tech teams, to just enjoy the use of it. And so digital asset management is the flagship application in the software suite. It allows people to search and find what they're looking for, integrate it with wherever it needs to go. So we like to think of our digital asset management as a single source of truth for all the content that needs to exist. And wherever it needs to go, it needs to connect back with the digital asset management application. So we are proud that digital asset management has been a part of it for 25 plus years. But then we've got other applications that are also in the suite, like workflow to help get things approved. We have templates to allow people to build their own content. We also have portals, which allows people to curate information and get it ready to be presented to larger public audiences in a very stylized way. We've got insights that allow people to understand what's working and what's not. And then our newest application is Entries, which allows people to manage the product and technical and marketing copy that goes along with the visual information to make sure they present a package of information that needs to go into whatever channel the customer wants to sell in. So that's a snapshot of Wyden and a few of our capabilities within the products.
Well, as a marketer, I have to say, I was thrilled because I love the idea and working with the DM for me as a marketer, and my team and my creative and branding team is just incredible and brings a lot of value to the team. I remember when we first announced to all Acquia employees that we were acquiring Wyden, I cannot tell you how excited the entire organization was. And I'm hoping that our customers, feel that same level of excitement. So, talk to us a little bit about, how do you see Wyden's products, supporting Drupal? Is there a connection, and what is that connection, and what can we expect to see?
Yeah, so supporting Drupal, we have supported Drupal for some time. So we've created Drupal modules in the past that allow users to easily add content from the DAM into the web CMS. Now, this is something that we're going to focus on, though. We've got investment from Acquia that will allow us to advance that much more elegantly. So we're going to do that as a very early project. Those projects have been very active in our integration. And so we're excited about that investment. We're excited about making that integration much deeper, not just within the Drupal module, but also across the other applications that Acquia has. So we're going to advance that application integration much more deeply and much more seamlessly on behalf of the customer so that their experience is top of mind and is very elegant when completed. But we've done it in the past, but we know we can do it much more elegantly, and we're grateful for the investments that Acquia is putting into making it that much more elegant.
And we're going to keep your center of excellence. You'll be a center of excellence for Acquia now in Madison, right? And we expect actually to increase your team, right, in Madison?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, we've got exceptional talent in the community, often cited as one of the best places to live. And with that comes incredible talent across a lot of different disciplines. So not just engineering, but across the board in software when it comes to service and support and marketing and finance and legal. So we've got incredible talent in Madison. We're grateful to be able to have Madison as a center of excellence within the Acquia ecosystem.
That's awesome. Okay, we look forward to more Packers fans, but that's okay. We can handle that. Tell us a little bit about customers. So I know we have a nice overlap between existing Wyden customers and Acquia customers, but tell me a little bit more about the Wyden customers. What do they look like, and how many of them are there?
Yeah, we have earned more than 700 of the most iconic brands in the world as customers, and we have some shared customers, but we're working across a lot of different industries. The industries are B2B, they're manufacturing, they're CPG, they're universities, they're government, they're nonprofit, they're tech, they're insurance, they're energy, there are lots of different things. Because what primary problem we're solving is the organization of this content. So everybody's got a content problem. They can't find what they're looking for. There's thousands, millions of files that need to be figured out. Where are the images? Where are the videos? Where are the logos? So every industry's got the problem. We're primarily serving the enterprise need because the enterprise need is complicated. The enterprise need is not is just a problem at scale. There's millions of assets. There's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of users. There's systems that also need to consume the content that's coming out of the dam. And so when we look at that profile, the sophistication of our software and the ability to scale and the product depth and breadth of what we've created serves the enterprise best. But we're serving mid-market and lower mid-market problems as well. And some of those customers are, if we're since we're in the sports theme, you can check out our case studies on our website, but we're serving large e-commerce giants in the sports apparel market like Fanatics. So Fanatics has millions of files. We're trying to make sure that they're organized such that users and sales and distributors and people who need it can gain access to it. And then we're also disseminating content through integrations into their e-commerce environment. We have a lot of sports teams examples as well, where they're using game day photos like the Astros and the Texans and the Falcons and the Vikings, and they're using us for in the moment game day photos, and then making sure that the right people have permissions to access and download or connect that content with wherever it needs to go. So a few sports related.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's awesome. So first of all, I want to really thank you, Matthew, and really welcome to all of the Wyden customers. Welcome to the Acquia family, and our commitment around Wyden and the wonderful, wonderful support that the Wyden team has given to his customers over the years will absolutely continue. So we look forward to that, and we look forward to learning some about that on the Acquia side as well from Matthew to help us with that. So, okay, I have to end with one fun question, of course. And I suspect I'm going to know the answer, but I'm going to ask you anyway. You want to make a prediction for this year's Super Bowl?
I'd prefer. I suppose I'd prefer a Wyden customer matchup in the Super Bowl. That would be my politically correct answer. So perhaps I'd like the Texans versus the Falcons, maybe. But clearly a Packers fan since birth. So I got to go with the Packers, and whoever they play, I don't really care.
Okay, I don't blame you there. I wish I could be making a prediction for next year's Super Bowl instead, because I'd feel a touch more confident. However, I'm going with the Pats. Got to go with it. So we will see. We will see what happens. So thank you for joining, Matthew. Talk soon.
Thanks, Lynn.
Digital transformation is a journey and the pace is changing. But for the journey to be truly successful, well, you need great technology, composable innovation, and an aligned team. So let's explore that further now with Acquia customer Pegasystems. I'm delighted to have CMO Tom Libretto and CTO Don Sherman. Welcome to both of you. Nice to see you. Yeah. Before we get into it, tell me a little bit more about Pega and what it is you do. So Tom, start with you.
Yeah, thanks very much, Mark. We describe ourselves as an innovative enterprise software vendor that excels at crushing business complexity, primarily in the areas of customer engagement and process automation.
All right, sounds good. And of course, in your role, how do you describe your role to people that you meet?
Yeah, I mean, the role of the CMO is ever changing, but my primary purpose is to further our brand, make more people aware of who Pega is, and interested in learning more about our solutions.
Great, thank you so much. Don?
So, as CTO, I get the great job of understanding our clients' needs and their technology direction, feeding that back into what we do with our technology, and then partnering with folks like Tom to make sure then we carry that message back out to the marketplace in a way that our clients really hear it and understand it.
You see, I'm already seeing alignment. I like this. Now, digital transformation is a big thing for Pega right now. Tell me a bit more about where you're up to and also how Acquia is helping.
Yeah, it's an ever-present topic. We too play in that general domain. For us, digital transformation is both about becoming more efficient and hyper-personalized from a customer experience perspective. So Acquia technology helps us do that primarily through our digital channels that are becoming ever increasingly important in helping our prospects and our clients themselves self-discover what we have to offer. And Acquia is powering a lot of those digital experiences for us.
It's great. It's making a big difference, obviously. And we've been hearing a lot at this event and elsewhere about the composable enterprise.
Yes.
So, Donna, I wanted to ask you about this. And I know this means a lot to Pega because I think your CEO was also talking about this at Inspire. So bring us up to date. What does it mean to Pega?
Well, Tom talked about digital transformation in terms of efficiency and personalization. I think there's a third leg of the stool around agility, being able to move fast, right? If we've learned anything over the past 18 months, 2 years, it's things move pretty quick and you got to be able to keep up. You've got to be able to change on a dime. And I think about composable business almost as being able to break the components of your business, the components of your technology into little Lego blocks.
Right.
That your business experts and your strategists and your frontline people can reassemble into what they need at the moment they need that. Be that an app, be that a new experience for your client, be that a better process to drive more efficiency in the back office parts of your business. When your business is composable, you can move so much faster.
And of course, it's not a one and done, is it? This is a continuous thing, this composable enterprise.
Yeah, I mean, our tagline is build for change, right? And one of the things that we believe pretty strongly is change is just a constant. Digital transformation isn't something you get done and then, celebrate because you crossed the finish line of digital transformation. Digital transformation is about accepting the fact that as organizations, we now live in constant accelerating change. And so composable tools like low-code software development and AI that allows marketers to actually come in and define the experiences they want their clients and their prospects to have. Those are the things that allow a business to kind of keep up with that continuous change.
Fabulous. Yeah, building and Lego, those two things work really well together.
Yeah, just don't step on them.
Just never with bare feet. That's a torture. Now, I'm looking here. There was a ClickZ article, Tom, where you talked about how Pega's gone all in on its own technology, specifically the Pega Customer Decision Hub. How has that changed the business?
Yeah, pretty foundationally. So a big way we measure our own success and our own momentum is around this concept of client engagement and knowing exactly who we're meant to engage with and driving repeatable engagement with them is at the core of our marketing operation. Our own Customer Decision Hub helps us do that at scale and in real time. So it takes all of the inputs from our first-party data and other sources of data that we acquire, and the models themselves dictate who gets what email and what is in that email, and a just-in-time send, or who sees what on our website with milliseconds of latency in repainting screens as someone matriculates through a web experience. The cool thing is we've wired that Customer Decision Hub into our Drupal front end. So the tandem here of Pega and Acquia coming to life in hyper-personalization with that contextual AI driving those experiences has been really, really transformational for us.
Sounds like a game changer for the business.
Totally.
Amazing. Now, what I'm seeing here is this great connection between the two of you, CMO, CTO. This is how it should be, but it isn't like this in other organizations. Tell me how you align together in terms of your messaging and how you create success for the business.
Well, you go first, Tom.
I think first it all starts with the client and with the customer, right? At the end of the day, we exist as a business. We build technology, we build a brand, we build marketing engagement because we want to deliver value to the customer. So I think, one of the first places where Tom and I engage a lot is actually when we go out together to talk to clients, right? And better understand the client needs, Tom offering the CMO perspective, I backing him up with the technology. I think the other thing to understand is that more and more, the nature of these roles interlace. Tom has got so much technology that he's driving inside of marketing in terms of the Decision Hub, in terms of Acquia, in terms of data sets that he needs to run. I'm thinking very much about customer needs and what are the buyer behaviors? What are the trends that we need to anticipate, right? Things that you used to think were a CMO's job. Well, as a CTO, I got to know that because I got to make sure we got the right technology for those people. So I think acknowledging that overlap and collaborating so that we meet our client needs is the important.
It's about speaking each other's language, isn't it?
100%. And there is, as Don said, a lot of overlap. We lean on Don's team regularly to help us translate what we're doing from our product into a technology company so we can be better marketers and put more hard-hitting messages into the marketplace. And like you said, there's probably not many things that we don't tag team on when we're out in the market attending events or putting on our own events, because that synergy is so incredibly powerful.
Brilliant, and great advice for every CMO and CTO watching as well. All right, our time's almost up, so let's finish with, I'd just like to know really what was the biggest challenge you faced over the last 18 months or so? So nice and short.
Yeah, I think for us, and we talked about this earlier, that immediate pivot to everything going virtually really threw into chaos. How are we going to interact with our clients and engage them in non-analog formats? And again, another thing we came together on to determine how best to do that. But I know, like Don, we're excited for things to start to move back to a place where we can get on planes and go talk to clients and really understand what they're up to viscerally.
There's such, I think, a feeling of need and a desire for people just to get together face to face again, right? Once you take all the technology away, so much of what we do is about understanding each other as people, right? And I'm looking forward to, as we move into the next year, getting a little bit more of that face time back.
Fabulous. Thank you both so much. Tom Libretto, Don Sherman, really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Mark.
Hi, ready for more awards? Of course you are. Let's take a look at our next round of Acquia Engage Award winners. Dries, over to you.
I'm Dries, Acquia's co-founder and Chief Technology Officer. I'm proud to announce the Engage Award winners in the Builders category. The awards in this category celebrate those who are in the trenches, developing and delivering innovations that leave the status quo behind and that are truly transforming how organizations do business. Our first Builders Award is for the best return on investment. And this award goes to an organization that developed new ways to shrink cost and to ramp up time to market, all while making sure they've aligned with governance. And if the detailed results to prove it all, the Best Return on Investment Award goes to Clean Earth and Elevated Third. Next up is the award for the quickest to launch. This one goes to a group that leveraged Acquia and their own expertise to get a new solution up and running at top speed in almost no time. The quickest to launch award goes to CoStar Group and Phase 2. Our next award is in the builder category is the Scale Award. Today, scaling to accommodate growth can require big changes in the way an organization does business. The winners of this award definitely rose to that challenge and delivered some amazing solutions at scale. The award for Scale goes to Bayer and Wunderman Thompson. Now, it's time for the Open Source Giants Award. This award recognizes the biggest contribution to the Drupal ecosystem. That's either through Drupal.org, through GitHub, event sponsorship, community mentorship, or technical excellence. And this year's Open Source Giant is Palantir.net. Congratulations to all the winners, and a special thank you for those who continue to contribute to Drupal. And speaking of Drupal, I have an important announcement to make. Recently, we kicked off the initiative to find a new, more inclusive name for the Acquia Drupal Grandmaster certification. As many of you know, a Drupal Grandmaster is a Drupalist who has demonstrated advanced Drupal expertise by successfully achieving 3 certifications: the Acquia Certified Developer, Acquia Certified Backend Specialist, and the Acquia Certified Frontend Specialist. It's an internationally recognized achievement that bears significant weight. And we reached out to the Drupal community to crowdsource the name and have already received over 320 submissions. And given all of that interest from the community, we are actually holding the submission period open a little bit longer to ensure that more voices can be heard. So now is your time to get involved. You can submit your name today for a chance to win a set of Acquia Drupal certification exams, or we will make a $1,000 donation to a charity of your choosing. You can submit your idea today at acquia.com/rename. Thank you all for participating.
Well, that brings us to the conclusion of this year's Acquia Engage. It's hard to recap the past few days given all the amazing customer stories, the partner sessions, the insights right from the Acquia team. Amazing. So I've got a question for you, Lynn. What was your favorite part? It's tough to choose, I know.
It's totally tough to choose, but I think it really has to be hearing from our customers, right? I mean, they're on the front line. These are the folks that are building their digital experiences using the Acquia technology, and they're radical innovators. They're building these great customer experiences for their own customers. So, and speaking of customers, Mark.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we actually have one more Acquia Engage award category.
You do? Fantastic. Well, I'll leave that with you.
Thank you. And these are for our regional winners. These customers and partners have continued to move the bar higher in every region, even in the face of incredible challenges, and we're honored to recognize their contributions here today. For Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, this year's Regional Excellence Award goes to Dr. Wilmer Schwab and 1X Internet. And in the Asia Pacific region, this year's Regional Excellence Award winner is Singapore Institute of Technology and Pixel Onion. The Regional Excellence Award for Latin America goes to UNICEF LATAM and MMDA. And finally, this year's winner for Regional Excellence in North America is NIC Colorado. Congratulations to all of this year's award winners, and thank you to everyone who submitted an Acquia Engage award.
Lynn, that's amazing, and I'll add my congratulations as well. You know, it's been inspiring to hear about the great work from Acquia's customers and partners. Oh, and speaking of partners, a special thank you to all of our sponsors for making this year's event possible. In particular, our presenting sponsor, Wunderman Thompson. You know, there was so much useful content, so many great sessions over the past few days. If you missed anything or you want to share with your colleagues, and you should, by the way, here's the good news, right? Sessions are available on demand on the platform. So I would encourage you to check those out afterwards. And of course, we'd love to hear what you thought of this event. Please be on the lookout for a brief survey from the Acquia team. As always, your feedback helps us make the next event bigger and better for you. And of course, that's going to be next year. So Lynn, what else is next?
Mark, I'm so excited to announce that Acquia is going on the road. So we're hosting in-person networking events in the next few weeks in Boston, San Francisco, Chicago, and Washington, D.C. And as always, our partner sponsors will be there, and we hope that you will too. And we hope to see you next year at Acquia Engage in person, Mark, in Miami.
Oh, Miami. Do you know, I've had the sunscreen in the cupboard for 3 years almost now. For more details on that and more, please visit acquia.com/events.
Thank you, Mark. And thanks to all of you for joining us, and we will see you soon.